Another unexpected pick here in the back end of the first round. Michael Mayer's on the board. They miss out on Dalton Kincaid. The Dallas Cowboys go with Mazi Smith, the defensive tackle out of Michigan. Look, I got to be completely honest with you. Jesse Holley joining us here, Believe in Cowboys, also former Dallas Cowboy. Jesse, I got to be honest with you. One, Mazi Smith's fine. He's a fine football player. I have other defensive tackles a lot higher on my board before I have Mazi Smith. I also have other players in general much higher on their board. And I don't know. I think that they really missed out on an opportunity to maybe get some other players. I'm sure he'll be a fine football player, but they might have really missed out on an opportunity here to get some guys like Michael Mayer or approaching some of these other positions. What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, I agree with you. This is a position that I'm not. It's a surprise to me. I get it. I understand the pick. Like, I understand the position pick, right? When you think about what we have defensively, what the Cowboys have defensively, and what they want to do with Michael Parsons and Tank Lawrence and have those guys rush off the edge, and to be able to stop the run up the middle, right? To finally fortify that position in the middle, to give those guys on the edge just that ability to have that offensive line condensed down and just give Michael Parsons that extra to get around that corner. But when you're talking about picking someone in the first round who you want to plug and play, you want to see more of an explosive guy. I mean, I for one was looking for, I called it a flexy, sexy tight end. I wanted Dalton Kincaid. You know, I get that Michael Mayer was there, and a lot of what you hear about him, one, you hear about the measurables that he had at the combine, which were bad. Like, when you look at it overall, they weren't good numbers. And you know, the comparison that the guys were making on the major network tonight was Jason Witten. This isn't 1980. This is not 1980. I for one, like Jason Witten, was a teammate of Jason Witten. Jason Witten could not play in today's NFL with the way things are going, right? That Y option, the linebackers are so swift and so quick now, the Y option wouldn't work anymore. So I think Michael Mayer, I think the reason why he's falling the way he's falling, because people are looking at him and going, you're not what the new tight end looks like in the National Football League. Yes, you may be a good inline blocker, but we need guys that's going to stretch the field. I need guys that's going to be too fast for linebackers and too big and too strong for safeties, and can make me now have another receiver type player on the football field. I mean, even if they had went corner here, I mean, there's so many other positions that could have been for the Cowboys that would have given them much more significance at 26 than a defensive tackle. But such is life. Here we are, and you know, the Cowboys have to live with this pick, and I hope that we're not looking back somewhere at a point in time in this season and saying, really? D-tackle? 26?
Well, the only thing that I would say on this, Joe, is the Eagles aren't slowing down offensively, especially in the run game, okay? We saw in the playoffs, we saw against Ohio State that Mazi Smith was a big-time run stuffer. We saw that he bullied dudes with that bull rush that he has. We saw it against Wisconsin. They have a probably 1 or 2 round offensive lineman. He was doing it too. We saw multiple times that he was just a disruptive force. I agree with Mr. Fourth and Long, the man. He's not wrong here. However, again, when you talk about the league and you talk about the Eagles and that running game, look, man, I just really like Mazi Smith. I like what he did against TCU even. He was one of the bright spots. Look, man, I get it. I don't disagree, but Mazi Smith is a good pick. He's a good pick, Joe. He's a good pick. He could play the 3. He could play the 1. He could play the nose. Name another 333-pound man that can do that. I'll sit here and wait.
Brian Brzee. I think Brian Brzee actually. So, like, that's also part of my problem.
But Brzee has injury issues, right?
He has, but he wasn't injured at all last year. So, like, I just don't know why. I think that this is a second-round pick that was a reach. That's my thought on this.
Well, the last time they did that was a guy named Leighton Vander Esch. Tell me if I'm wrong. Now, people don't like Vander Esch. Right. Okay, but 100 tackles a season's 100 tackles.
Yeah, but I've always fought people on this whole tackle thing, right? Because we can say, I've been here for a long time, and I watched Jalen Smith make 100 tackles. But where are you making the 100 tackles, right? Are you making them at?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
100 tackles 5 or 6 yards down the field. Because if you're making them 5 or 6 yards down the field, then it's 2nd and 5. And
only to that. If we're going to talk about Broderick, who went early in the draft when Michigan played Georgia a couple playoffs ago, So he bullied up sometimes some Georgia offensive linemen that have gone earlier in this draft. So I'm just going to mention that he's bullied some dudes that he's played. Paris went earlier, Broderick went, and when they had a chance to go up against Mazi, they were not successful at times. That's all. The eye in the sky doesn't lie. So again, when he's in that interior now,
against those college guys now, you're talking about he has to go against, for the most part, veteran NFL linemen, right?
So are we going to say that Paris and Broderick aren't NFL dudes?
I'm not saying they aren't, but they are not NFL dudes right now. Like, they just been drafted. So what I'm saying is that you're taking a rookie and you're going to insert him to have to go up against some, like a not Travis Kelce, a Jason Kelce type of dude. That matters in these situations. That matters because of the technique, the understanding of what's actually happening in game. It's how to use leverage, how to use positioning, how to use force, how to get a guy to think that you're going one way. Oh, I'm not actually going that way. Here comes a wham block, and you run right into it. I'm not saying that he can't get in those positions and rough guys up. But when you do what you do at the college level against college offensive linemen, a lot of times, to me, you have to now show and prove that these guys who you're facing in the league now, a lot of them are going to be veteran offensive linemen that you have to face. And now you have to go through not just the mental part of the game, but the physical part of the game. You have to put it all together when you just can't use brute strength anymore, because these guys now are 28, 29, 30 years old. Their manship is a little bit more than yours. Now you have to be able to figure this game out at a different level to be able to compete down in and down out.
I'm in agreement with Jesse here, and I'm sure the pick might have decent results. My bigger thing is just missing out on some of these other talented players on the board. Folks, make sure you go and check out Believe in Cowboys with Jeff Kavanaugh and Jesse Holley. Jesse, really appreciate you joining us tonight, and we'll see what happens for the rest of this Cowboys draft, and hopefully they can figure out the rest of these positions of need.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you.